Good morning. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
We
Good morning, sir.
now we are studying monopoly market, single producer, single seller. So here we studied the level of output that give maximum profit when the marginal revenue equal marginal cost. Then price will be determined from the demand curve for that output level. So the monopoly can get economic profit. So in this graph, marginal revenue, marginal cost intersect at that point, both are equal, marginal revenue, marginal cost. So the level of output 5 units. So this monopoly, to get maximum profit, he should produce 5 unit output. And to buy this, the consumers will buy all these 5 units at the price 122 from the demand curve. He according to the demand curve, he will set the price 122. So there are consumers to buy all these 5 units at 122. So he got maximum profit. So the total revenue 122 into 5 units. So that area, average total cost when he produce 5 unit, average total cost is 100. So total cost 500. So 100 into 500 total cost, total revenue 122 into 5. So he will get economic profit. So then we will see there are some misconceptions about monopoly. People, politicians, so they may talk because if they don't know economic principle, they will talk, and there are misconceptions like that. The monopoly can charge very high price, so highest price, but they charge high price but not the highest price. They cannot charge very high price. If they want to, if monopoly want to maximum profit, he should select the output where much marginal revenue equal marginal cost, then that to sell those output, what is the price should be that determined by the demand curve. So now we have seen the price is 122, but there are even higher price. Now is 122. He can set the price even 150. Why he didn't sell the highest price 150? He is the only seller. Then we may think he can. He is only, there is no substitute, so he can sell the product at 150 like that. But his aim is getting maximum profit. If he set the price 150, profit will be less than the price when the price is 122. So even there are prices along the demand curve above 122, but he is not selecting those price. If he select those price, he will sell less quantity, 1 or 2. So his profit may be less. That is why if he set higher price more than 122, then the reduction, there will be a reduction in the quantity. People will buy less at the higher price. So he will not get higher profit. But in the 122, that is the level of output can give higher profit. So then that is misconception. We should not think he is the only producer. He can, if he set higher price, then he will get higher profit. Like that, we should not think. There are price to get the maximum profit. So the one, so they may think that he is the only producer. He can sell more unit, then he can get higher profit like that. There may be misconception, but we have seen there is a unit to get maximum profit. So if he produce 5 units, he will get maximum profit. If he produce and sell 7 or 6 or 8 unit, then he will not higher profit than when he produce 5 unit. Because if he produce more unit and sold, he want to sell at the lower price. People are going to buy lower price. The demand curve downward slow. So we should not think he is the only producer. Then he produce more unit and sold, he will get higher profit like that. So that is misconception and possibility of losses. So people may think he is the only producer of that product, so he will not get any loss. So normally that is he may get loss also. So even he is a single producer, we could not think he always make higher profit or positive profit. Sometimes even he is a single producer, he may face loss. We can see one example. Now the average total cost, marginal cost, average variable cost, demand and marginal revenue. So now demand curve is below the average total cost curve. So demand curve below the average total. So the condition for profit maximization or minimum loss. If they are getting profit, the higher for the highest profit condition is marginal revenue, marginal cost. If the firm get loss to minimum loss, again that marginal revenue equal marginal cost. So now the demand curve by the consumers. So that is not influenced by the monopoly. So demand curve of the consumers response. So how much they demand at each price, completely the consumers. So determine. So that then if the production cost, average total cost of the monopoly above the demand curve, sometimes for the demand for monopoly product may decrease. There are many, we studied many variable, affect many determinants are there of the demand. So some other reason, so demand decrease. Now then marginal revenue equal marginal cost equal at the level of QM. So then at the that output QM to buy by the consumer, price should be the PM. So now the total revenue is PM into QM. But when he produce QM, the average total cost is greater than the price. So then the monopoly may get loss. Even he is the only single producer of this product, but he may get lost. So we should not think he is the only producer, then he never get lost like that. So that depend on the consumer's demand also. So, but when this monopoly get lost, but he could minimize the loss if he produce the level of QM output. So now he can produce because he will produce because minimum average variable cost below the price. The price, the above the minimum average variable cost. So he will produce. If the price, if the demand go down further and the demand curve below the average variable cost, he will shut down. But now the demand curve between average variable cost and average total cost. So price is above the minimum average variable cost. So in the short run, even the loss he will produce because he recover all the variable cost and part of fixed cost. If he did not produce in the short run, his loss equal to fixed cost that is greater than the producing the output now, because you can see fixed cost is difference between average total cost and average variable cost. It is greater than the loss. So he will, even in the short run, even he get loss, he will produce to avoid the big higher loss. Otherwise, the loss equal to fixed cost if he shut down. So the monopoly can get, but if he produce more than QM or less than QM, in this situation, loss may be higher than he producing when he producing QM, because this is the level of output. Marginal revenue equal marginal cost, maybe higher profit or minimum loss. So now we will see the economic effects of monopoly, whether monopoly market is efficient or not. So now if we compare the pure competitive market and pure monopoly market, we already studied pure competitive market. In that market, we said that the monopoly is the monopoly. In the pure competitive market, we achieve allocative efficiency and productive efficiency. Pure competitive market is an efficient market. So now the pure competitive market demand curve and supply curve, that is summation of marginal cost curve. So at the equilibrium, the demand and this industry market supply curve intersect point, price equal to marginal cost. The demand curve, so the price, marginal cost. So at the intersection point, price equal marginal cost. If the price equal marginal cost, we achieve the allocative efficiency. So we allocate our resources to produce the correct amount of output the society want. So there is a scarce resource inputs allocated efficiently for this production. So allocative efficiency, and in the long run, the price equal to minimum average total cost. We studied in the long run, all the firm in a competitive market produce the output when price equal minimum average total cost. In the long run, they get zero economic profit, normal profit. So in the long run, the the pure competitive market we achieve productive efficiency, price equal minimum average total cost. So we are producing the product at the least cost. So minimum average total cost. So productive efficiency, both efficiency occurred or achieved in the pure competitive market in the long run. But if we see the monopoly, so there is no supply for the monopoly, but there is a marginal cost and there is a demand curve. So demand curve is downward slope, then marginal revenue also will be down slope. The pure competitive market, firm demand, market demand is downward, firm demand is horizontal. But here market demand is the firm demand also, then marginal revenue also downward slope. Then the firm or single producer, his monopoly is a monopoly, then marginal cost curve. So marginal revenue, marginal cost equal at QM. So they will produce QM, that is the level of output, give maximum profit, then price is PM. But if it is a competitive market, price equal marginal cost. So then competitive, so it should be, if monopoly produce QC, only price equal marginal cost. That is the allocative efficiency. But he produce less than that QC. So QM. So then we are producing where the marginal and where the allocative efficiency happen, price equal marginal cost, that is at the level QC, but the monopoly produce less than the QC. So the monopoly market, we are not achieving allocative efficiency because price is greater than marginal cost. Price is PM, marginal cost is below the price. So then no allocative efficiency. When price equal marginal cost, only resources will be allocated efficiently. Here we produce less than the society want. Society want QC, that price equal marginal cost. That is the one the society want. But we produce less than that. So we are not allocating our resources, scarce resources efficiently because we are producing still the society getting benefit, that is price. Price say the marginal benefit to the society. So marginal benefit is greater than marginal cost in the monopoly market. When they produce QM, price is marginal benefit. So marginal benefit greater than marginal cost. Then if marginal benefit greater than marginal cost, if we produce more, we will get more benefit to the society. But monopoly is not producing because it will not give higher profit. If we produce more than QM, it will not higher profit. If we produce less than QM also, he will not get higher profit. Only at the level QM, then marginal revenue, marginal cost, he produce QM, only he will get maximum profit. So we are losing some allocative efficiency. And also it's not the price not equal to the minimum average total cost. So not productive efficiency. So when we sell or buy in a market, consumer and producer both are getting gain. When we buy or sell in a market, any product, the consumer and producer getting benefit, gains. So here some consumers willing to pay more than price of the monopoly market, the commodity market price, PC. So there are consumers willing to pay greater than the PC price, but they couldn't get because monopoly sell at the PA. So that consumer surplus, that triangle area above the commodity market price. So we lose some consumer surplus, and producer also lose. This monopoly also lose some surplus. So price, he can sell some more quantity at the price above the marginal cost. Marginal cost is the least lower price to the producer accept, but commodity market price is more than that. So, but he is not selling. He produce less and sell at the higher price for the maximum profit. So we lose some part of consumer surplus and producer surplus. So totally we lose that surplus, the benefit to the society, that area shown in the blue color. So that benefit, consumer surplus and producer surplus, the society lost in the monopoly market. So it is not efficient market because we didn't achieve in the competitive market all benefit to the consumer surplus and producer surplus are achieved. So maximum benefit in the selling and buying in the competitive market. So this loss, the benefit loss to the consumer and producer, this color highlighted in the blue color is dead weight loss to the society, we call dead weight loss. So monopoly market is inefficient market. So pure competition is efficient market, and we achieve productive efficiency and allocative efficiency. So, and also maximum gain from the trade. So consumer surplus and producer surplus is maximized together. All the consumer surplus and producer surplus in the market received by the society. But in a monopoly market, some consumer producer surplus, the society would not get it from the trading. So monopoly is inefficient because price is greater than marginal cost. If price is greater than marginal cost, we didn't achieve the allocative efficiency. We are not producing the amount that society wants. So the resources are under allocation. We are allocating less resource for this production, and the loss of the consumers, part of consumer surplus, producer surplus that we couldn't achieve in the monopoly market, that benefit loss is that we call dead weight loss. So the another economic effect of monopoly. So monopoly is a single producer. It can be a big firm. So one big firm, company. That company owned by many shareholders. So the shareholders, rich people, invest in that company by buying the company share. So they are shareholders. So they are the owners of that company, one big company, single producer. So by selling at the higher price, the income from consumer is transferred to the rich people, so shareholders. So the monopoly transfer the income from consumers to the shareholders. So because they are selling at the higher price. If a competitive market, price is low. But because of monopoly, he sell at a higher price. So the monopoly transfer income from consumer to the shareholders. So that is another economic effect of monopoly. It is a competitive market, the income transfer from consumer to the seller or producer is less, but here more income from consumer to transferred to the shareholders. So some cost complication. So economies of scale. So sometimes the monopoly is occurred because of economies of scale. So natural monopoly occurred because of economies of scale. So a single large firm, when it is produce more output, when they produce more and more output, average total cost decrease continuously. So the large firm can produce output at the lowest cost. So small firms cannot compete or cannot enter or compete with this large firm. They are producing at the lowest cost because of economies of scale. Economies of scale mean when we produce more and more, average total cost decrease. So that is the one reason for the monopoly. There is a single producer. So they are now the new industry like IT industry. So those are our wireless communication industry. They get this benefit of economies of scale. So now if the computer, so Dell or HP, they should produce each consumer one computer, laptop. But the Microsoft, they produce only one software program and sell everyone, or even through online. Through online, we can pay money and download the software and install into our computers. So the software from their server through online, they can sell to the many consumers at the same time. One program, they don't need to produce many programs, only one program through online. The many consumers can buy and download and install. So that is simultaneous consumption. If it is a computer, each consumer need to buy each laptop or computer. So that is not simultaneous consumption. Different quantity unit. But software, it's only software, one software, many consume at the same time. They download and install. So that is simultaneous. So then they are cost. When many consumer install that only one program, so their average total cost will decrease continuously. So because they develop only one program, then many buyers buy, then their average total cost continuously decrease because of simultaneous consumption. One product, many people consume. Other products, only one product consumed by only one consumer. Here, one product consumed many people at the same time, simultaneous consumption. There is no decrease in the product, only one product. Many people consume one product, but other commodities, if one consumer consume one unit, others cannot get that product. They went to buy another one. So we can exclude from the consumption in other product, others. But here many people consume. So that is simultaneous consumption, also one reason for the economies of scale in the industry like software industry, wireless communication. Now dialogue of only the one provider, he supply, so that service many consumers consume the using that service. So those are simultaneous. So for them only they produce one product. So now many people consume. So their total cost decrease when many consumer use it. So that is simultaneous consumption is one reason for the economies of scale. Total average cost decrease when more consumers buy or use it that product. Other one, network effect also for some product, the average total cost decrease, economies of scale. Now, so dial-up has many people have dial-up connection. So anyone buy any phone, they want to have dial-up SIM because others have dial-up SIM. So it can reduce their cost. So because dial-up to dial-up the cost. So like that, so that if we have many, but many people use that one, others also want to use. This is network effect. So now social media also, so people want to use any social media that more other people use because only they were connected to many people. So that is network effect. So now it is very difficult because of the network effect. Other producer cannot easily enter the market. So now dialogue, many people use dialogue. So any new provider or any the service provider new could not enter easily because they cannot get the market because that provider service only few people use. So the new people they will not buy that SIM because only few people use it. So this network effect also advantage for the a firm to become monopoly. So this is how the economies of scale in the new industries and average total cost decrease. Economies of scale. X inefficiency. So we may think the monopoly. So when they produce more and more, their average total cost may decrease. And also we may think they will produce at the possible lowest cost. But they are monopoly, so they don't need to produce, even they can produce at the lowest cost possible. The average total cost, say the lowest average total cost per each output level. So, but they may produce above that lowest cost, higher cost, because they are single producer. So there is no pressure to produce at the lowest cost. If a competitive market, there is a pressure to the all the producer to produce lowest cost, then only they can get profit in a competitive market. But he is the only producer, so even he can produce a product at the lowest cost, but no need to produce at the lowest cost, even higher profit they can get, but there is no pressure from the other producers. So he is the single producer. So even he produce above the lowest cost, they will get profit. So then there is no profit, then there is a possible to produce at the cost, higher cost than the lowest possible cost. That is we call X inefficiency. So it may happen. So the managers, if it is a monopoly, it can be a large firm. The manager, they may not work hard also, because they are the only producer. He is the managing that firm. So the company owned by several shareholders, he is the CEO or something. So there is no pressure for him to work hard and produce at the lowest cost and increase the profit for the shareholders. But he is the manager, so he don't want to work very hard. So then if they don't want to very hard, so they will not produce at the lowest cost. So that is also one reason. So they are managers, sometimes they want the easy life. So but they are guaranteed, they are the only producer, they always get profit. There is no competition then because of that there. So and also to keep that monopoly status, they need to spend money in other way to keep that monopoly status. So they have to plug others barrier. So for that they need to spend that money that is not as a part of production cost. So they may produce at a high cost also, even possible. So rent seeking behavior. So to keep the monopoly status, so they will do some activity. So for that they spend money. So now the monopoly like a license. So to keep the license, they have to give money to the government officers or ministers like that. So then the cost is because of rent-seeking behavior. Rent-seeking behavior for their benefit, they spend money in the different way. So lobbying, so giving money to the government officers like that to keep the license. Then only they can be a monopoly in a particular area. So that is, or even the whole country, he is the only importer or something like that. So they want to keep that status, monopoly status, for that they give money to the government officers. So that is rent-seeking behavior and technological advance. We may think he is the only producer, very large firm. Then some argue the monopoly is the large firm, so they can invest more money on research and development. Then they can produce the product at the lowest cost, and also new product they can produce to keep. So to keep, because they are monopoly, because of their technology, then any firm develop the same technology, they may become a competitors, then they may involve more research like that. Some argue the monopoly will develop in technological advance. But some argue there's no pressure for monopoly because he is the only producer. He secured the monopoly status. So then there is no argument for new firm enter. So there is no pressure for them. Then they will not involved in a research to develop, to produce at the lowest cost in a competitive market. So they have to produce lowest cost because many firms they produce. So they are a competition. Then that competition make the pressure for the firm to the produce at the lowest cost. Like that, others argue monopoly will not uh, invest, or there is no pressure to produce at the lowest cost or develop the technology to produce at the lowest cost because there is no pressure like that. Some argue they are big firm, then they can invest in the research and development more money, and they can develop the technology to produce at the lowest cost. So there are argument both sides. So 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 government in US, so they use that antitrust law. The firm become a two firm become a one firm, and they may be monopoly like that. So they avoid using that antitrust law, divide the firm, or they don't allow the two big firm to become a one firm. They don't allow the merge two firm. So earlier Microsoft and another Microsoft software and another firm hardware. So they don't allow the Microsoft and the, I think IBM. So they don't want to merge. So then by antitrust law, they didn't allow the big two firm to become a one firm. So there are many firms they could not merge the USA because of this antitrust law. Because government think the two new big firm merge, then they can become a monopoly. It may affect the consumers. They can sell at a higher price. So if it is a natural monopoly, sometimes government regulate the price. So they don't allow the firm use that marginal revenue, marginal cost condition and determine the price at that output level. as we studied in the monopoly market. Then government, if it is a natural monopoly, so like some essential service, so electricity, water supply like that, or essential product, fuel like that, so they regulate the price. So they set the price. You should the monopoly sell that product in that price. That is not like when the marginal revenue equal marginal cost. So, but there may be a sometime problem. But they can government some industry, monopoly industry, they can say that the price should be marginal cost. That is the society own. So that is the maximum benefit to the society when the price equal marginal cost. But in the monopoly market, sometimes even government also will not say you should ask the monopoly to sell the product at the price equal marginal cost. So we can see. So we will see later why government cannot regulate the price to be price equal marginal cost some monopoly market. So and also in the monopoly market we can see price discrimination. So far we studied monopoly selling all the quantity at a single price. All the consumer they sell the product at a same price. That marginal revenue equal marginal cost, then output level, what is the price should be to sell all the product according to the demand curve. So we studied single, but we will see the monopoly can sell at a different price to different people or a different quantity they bought. So to maximize profit, they can get maximum profit than we studied earlier single price monopoly. So there are three forms of price discrimination. So each customer they can sell at different price. Each customer they can sell different price. Some monopoly they can do charge each customer at their maximum willingness to pay. So then there is no consumer surplus. They sell each unit or each customer at their maximum willingness to pay the demand. Each consumer has the maximum willingness to pay for each quantity. Individual demand, say the consumer willingness to pay. So this monopoly can sell each customer each unit at their maximum willingness to pay. So different price for all units he sell. So charge each customer at maximum willingness to pay. And another price discrimination, charge one price for first unit and lower price for subsequent unit. So there are discount method. If they buy less quantity, they have to pay higher price. If they buy large amount, they will get discount. So the price is discriminated by the amount they purchase. Another price discrimination, charge different customers different price. So that means some group of people will pay higher price, some group of people will lower price, but within the group all are paying same price. So they can categorize the consumers, they can group consumers. Each group they sell at different price. So all are in a same group pay same price. So like children, adult, like that. Some product we pay some product student, others like that. Price they can differentiate. So the monopoly can differentiate discriminate the price. So then they may get higher profit than the single price monopoly that we studied earlier. So we will see. So to do this price discrimination, so there are three conditions should be satisfied. He should has monopoly power. He should has monopoly power, market power. Otherwise, he cannot do this different price. He cannot. So monopoly, only monopoly and market segregation. So if you can segregate the market for the different groups, they sell different. So anyway, they should segregate market and no resale. So if we buy a group or people, they buy lower price and sell to other group, then it's impossible to have different groups at sell at different price. So they cannot control resale. Then those people can buy lower price and sell to other groups. Those who are has to pay higher price. So then finally, monopoly cannot do this different price. So no resale, market segregation. So it should be able to segregate the customers and he should have monopoly power. Single. Then he can do this price discrimination. So example, airfare. So the students and others and so the business class, economic class like that, they group and charge different price. So electric utilities also may possible. So some people, the commercial sector, they have to pay higher price, house different price, and the religious place different charge like that. They can charge different prices. So because they charging the commercial a higher price, they get higher profit. If they charge everyone same, then they will not get higher profit. So they can charge different price, then they get higher profit. So in the theater also you can see first class, second class, third class like that. They have because to make higher profit. So if there is no resale, no like that, then they can do that. So monopoly by discriminating, they can get higher profit. So regulated monopoly, natural monopolies, then government may regulate. So if the price is social optimum is price equal marginal cost, that is the socially optimum price, that maximum efficient we can get, but government cannot impose that. They cannot regulate or ask the monopoly to sell it. So I think 9:1. So I stop here. So we will only 1 or 2 slides. So I stop here. Next class we will study monopolistic market and oligopoly market. So Hello, student. I am stopping.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
You